Welcome to the Explainer. You know that feeling when you're just, completely drained? And you're sitting there wondering, where on earth does my energy actually go? Well, you are absolutely in the right place today. We're going to seamlessly synthesize Western biological science with Eastern medical philosophy, and we're going to do it all through the cutting-edge lens of quantum biology.
Let's kick things off with a pretty wild question. It's going to take us on a crazy journey from the macroscopic scale of ancient meridians all the way down to subatomic quantum tunneling. What if the ancient concept of qi and the biological currency of ATP are, at their very core, the exact same thing?
To wrap our heads around this, here's our game plan. First, we'll look at the two languages of energy. Then, cross the quantum biology bridge. After that, we'll explore how metabolism messes with the mind. And finally, figure out how to maximize your cellular power. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. Two languages of energy, ATP and qi.
It's honestly fascinating how perfectly the ancient concept of yang-qi warming the body lines up with modern biology. Think about it. In traditional Chinese medicine, yang-qi regulates your body heat. Over in Western biology, we have these things called mitochondrial uncoupling proteins. They're kind of like your car's engine idling just to run the heater on a cold day. They generate heat without doing any mechanical work. Plus, mitochondria actually shuttle energy between cells just like the ancient meridian pathways. These are two totally different paradigms describing the exact same fundamental life force.
Moving right along to Section 2, the quantum biology bridge, looking at subatomic power.
So when we talk about generating ATP, which is literally your body's energy currency, we aren't just talking about standard textbook chemistry. We're talking about quantum tunneling. I know, it sounds like sci-fi, right? But it's this purely quantum phenomenon where particles, like electrons and protons, just phase right through classical physical barriers inside your mitochondria because they act like waves. Literally, if your body didn't use this quantum shortcut, you wouldn't have enough time or energy to even stay alive. It's the ultimate biological hack.
And it goes way beyond just tunneling. There's also quantum coherence. Picture the chaotic thermal energy in your body as this incredibly crowded, super disorganized dance floor. Everyone's just bumping into each other. But the moment you drop a strong, steady beat, in our case, the energy from ATP hydrolysis, the entire crowd suddenly starts moving in perfect, coordinated synchrony. They act as one single wave. This collective synchronization is exactly what allows for ultra-fast, incredibly efficient energy transfer across your whole biological system.
It's truly mind-blowing when you consider the sheer scale of all this. We are talking about a direct link from cosmic electromagnetic fields all the way down through your autonomic nervous system right into your microscopic mitochondria. Your nervous system and your cells are constantly interacting with these ambient fields at a fundamental quantum cellular level. You aren't a closed-off machine. You're a totally open, dynamic system constantly swapping energy with the universe itself.
Which brings us to Section 3, Metabolism and the Mind, specifically looking at the stress loop.
The data on these different states is a massive eye-opener. ATP doesn't just stay locked securely inside your cells. Extracellular ATP actually acts as a major neurotransmitter. Normally, it just hangs out in tiny nanomolar amounts, promoting healthy signaling. But if you experience acute psychological stress, boom, it spikes massively outside the cell, exceeding 100 micromoles per liter. This literal explosion of misdirected energy sets off severe microglial inflammation in the brain, translating a metabolic glitch directly into depressive behaviors. And then, if that stress becomes chronic, ATP levels actually plummet because the mitochondria get damaged, which completely tanks your energy and, you guessed it, drives even more depression.
To put this massive energy demand into perspective, right now, an average person only has about 250 grams of ATP in their entire body. That's it. But to keep you functioning, your body has to recycle that tiny stash over 1,000 times every single day. Since ATP drives pretty much all your enzyme activity, even a sudden tiny drop in those levels is an absolute disaster. It just goes to show how incredibly delicate our metabolic and mental balance is, and why optimizing your energy production is absolutely vital.
All right, on to our final section, maximizing your cellular power. Think of your cells like literal batteries. For them to regenerate and heal, they require a specific charge of -50 millivolts. The research shows that a healthy, slightly alkaline environment basically donates electrons to maintain that exact electrical voltage. But if your cellular voltage drops and flips into an acidic state that steals electrons, say shifting toward a positive 30 millivolts, that is exactly when aging and chronic disease start creeping in. The physics completely drives the chemistry.
So how do we maintain that optimal negative charge and actually maximize our ATP and Qi using this science? Well, the sources highlight 3 incredibly efficient methods: photobiomodulation, grounding, and high-intensity interval training.
First up is photobiomodulation, which you probably know better as LED light therapy. This is basically a direct quantum energy input for your body. Red and near-infrared light actually penetrate your tissues, and your mitochondria absorb those literal photons to ramp up ATP production. You're essentially using quantum particles of light to bypass digestion entirely and plug your cellular batteries straight into the wall.
Next, we have grounding or earthing. When you connect physically to the Earth, you are pulling free electrons straight into your body. This helps shut off that frantic fight-or-flight stress response, which drops your nighttime cortisol and gets your circadian rhythm back on track. And since your body repairs its mitochondria based on that circadian clock, you're creating a physiological environment that is absolutely ripe for maximum ATP efficiency.
Finally, there is high-intensity interval training, or HIIT. On a purely biological level, these short, vigorous bursts of exercise force a massive increase in ATP production and pump way more oxygen through your system. But from a traditional Chinese medicine perspective, you are physically blasting away stagnation. It gives you a huge surge of warming yang energy, firing your qi all through your meridian networks, while the rest intervals lets your yin catch up and restore balance. It's a beautifully efficient pairing of biological mechanisms and ancient energy principles.
I want to leave you with this absolutely mind-bending thought from the research. Biological systems may actively exploit quantum phenomena for enhanced efficiency and coordination. As sophisticated quantum information processors, you are so much more than just a biochemical machine burning calories. You are a dynamic, highly efficient quantum antenna, capable of boundless vitality. So knowing that your thoughts, your environment, and your movements are literally rewiring you at a subatomic level, what kind of energy are you programming into your quantum engine right now?